friends. Hearty welcome to the online classes of English grammar of 7th standard. Today we are moving to chapter number 16, and this chapter is called the present tense. And in this chapter we are going to see about the four forms of present tense. And before that we shall say what do you mean by tense. Tense means time, and it comes from a Latin word called tempus. The verbs change the forms according to the time. So we have different kinds of tenses, and mainly there are three kinds of tenses we use in English grammar. For referring to the present time we use present tense. For referring to the past time we use the past tense. For referring to the actions in the future we use the future tense. And as I told you in the beginning, we are going to see in this chapter about the present tense and the four forms. The first form is simple present tense. In simple present tense, the verb changes according to the subject. For example, with I we use I dance, she dances, we dance. Now we shall first see the formula, though the formula is not given here. In the last year, in one of the classes of 6th standard, I had given all the formulas, and you can just write now also. Subject plus base form of the verb plus s or es plus object. Now in that column the examples are given. I look, we look, you look, you look. Then in the third person singular, he looks, she looks, or it looks. But in the plural, they look. So when third person singular comes, you need to add s or es. And if there is the verb form of be is present, how you need to use? First person I am, then plural we are, you are, he is, she is, and it is. Now how to form the negative? Now in order to form the negative of the verb be, we need to just add not. That is, I am not hungry, you are not a teacher, she is not a singer. But with the other verbs, what you need to do is you need to add either do or does plus no. So subject plus do or does plus no plus base form of the verb plus object. For example, I do not sing, you do not sing, he does not sing, she does not sing, they do not sing. So if third person singular comes, you need to use does not. Now you can use, instead of does not, doesn't you can use, do not you can, don't you can use, is not, isn't you can use, aren't you also you can use. Now how to form the questions? Now if the verb form be comes, then that verb form be should come in the beginning, then the subject, then the object, then question mark. I am thirsty, am I thirsty? You are a dancer, are you a dancer? Now we shall see how when the other verb comes, how it will be. We will be using the forms either do or does, then the subject, then the predicate. I dance, do I dance? You dance, do you dance? But third person singular, again does will be coming. She laughs loudly, does she laugh loudly? And you have a table given there, and when just look at the table, then you will understand. Tara goes to play, Tara does not go to play, does Tara go to play? Now where are we using these simple present tenses? First one is some habit or some routine actions we use. For example, Sahil wakes up at 6 a.m. The bus arrives on time every morning. Now, in order to tell about some universal or general truth also, we use the simple present tense. Then imperative sentence, exclamatory sentence, or giving the instructions, you need to use the simple present tense. For example, come here, shut the door. Then when describing something where there are a series of action in a commentary, suppose you are watching a football commentary or a cricket commentary, they use always the simple present tense. Now, we often use adverbs like usually, sometimes, never, always, often, every day, etc. in sentences in the simple present tense. So, these words we often use. I often go out to dinner with my friends. We sometimes visit our cousins in Mathura. Now we are moving to present continuous tense. First of all, see what is the formula. Subject plus is or am or are plus ing form of the verb plus object. For example, I am writing, we are writing, you are writing, you are writing, he is writing, or she is writing, or it is writing, then they are writing. So, is or am or are plus ing form of the verb plus object. Now, to form the negative, we add not after the helping verb. So, what is happening? I am not writing, you are not writing, or he is not writing, or she is not writing, they are not writing. Just add not after the auxiliary verb. Now, in order to form the interrogative, what we need to do is put the auxiliary verb is or am or are in the beginning, then construct the sentence, then the question. I am writing, am I writing, question mark. You are writing, are you writing? Shama is writing, is Shama writing? We are practicing today, are we practicing today? So, question mark. So the question mark is necessary in order to form a question. Now we shall see three usages of present continuous tense. First one is an action that is going on at the time of speaking. For example, now you are listening to me. That is an action which is going on now. So in that sense, you need to use present continuous tense. The second one is for an action that is going on during the present period of time, but not necessarily at the present moment. I am working on an interesting project these days, but now when we are speaking, we are not working, but you were working. I am studying for my entrance exams. Now you are not studying, but you are studying. That action might have started in the past and it is being continued. And last one is for an action that is planned and will take place in the near future. Now you are sure that an action is going to happen in your life, or something you have planned, and that will be happening in the near future. For example, we are going on a picnic tomorrow. He is taking the 9 o'clock flight this evening. Now, we need to see what I mean by the dynamic and stative verbs. From the words itself, stative and dynamic, you can understand what are the category of these verbs. First we shall see stative verbs. The definition first we shall see. Verbs that describe a state of being, perception, possession, or an emotional state are called stative verbs. Stative means the verbs that describe a state, that means it will not be moving. For example, the state of being, all the forms of verb be, then perception, see, smell, hear, recognize, appear. Then possession, have, own, possess, contain. And emotional state, love, want, prefer, wish, desire. Then a mental process: think, suppose, believe, feel, remember, realize, suspect. These verbs are called the stative verbs. Now, the examples are also being given there that you can see later. Now, what do you mean by the dynamic verbs? Verbs that express or denote action are called dynamic verbs. Suppose you are doing some actions, so that those verbs are called the dynamic verbs. For example, eat, drink, go, type, read, listen, speak, sleep, etc. All these are your actions. Now, there are a few verbs that can be used either as dynamic or stative. For example, I think or I believe Kiran is right. There, stative verb is used. But look at the next sentence in the dynamic form. I am thinking of buying a computer. There, an action is happening in myself. So, that is a dynamic verb. Or, we have two cars. That's a stative verb. But we are having Chinese food for the dinner. So, there, it is that have has come as a dynamic verb. Some verbs can be used both the continuous and simple forms with no difference. For example, hurt or feel. So there are a few verbs that can be used either in the simple form or in the dynamic form. With this, I am stopping today's class. In the next class, we shall discuss about the next remaining two things that are present perfect tense as well as present perfect continuous. And what you need to do is the more than the homeworks that are given, you need to write the formulas of these things. As I told you, I was explaining with every thing. Two only we have studied, so with that two we have already told what are the formulas for making a positive sentence, formulas for making a negative sentence, formulas for making a question. If you are having any doubts, you can refer to the last year's book. In that one, it is given. In our textbook also it is given. But then, if you are writing those things, and if you can paste in before you in front of your study table, it will be very well, and you will be studying very faster. Or else, if you are going to forget these things, you are not going to benefit anything. Or for the future, if you want to speak in English and all, this formation of tense are compulsory. So I hope you have understood whatever we have learned today. And if you have any doubts, you are most welcome to phone and ask. And I have a quotation for you today by Thomas Alva Edison. There is no substitute for hard work. I repeat, there is no substitute for hard work. Thank you, friends. Enjoy your days with your parents.